Final preparations were made shortly before noon as we settled in and returned to action today at the Big A. Maybe Christmas in July, a fitting statement considering we were up and around 55 degrees, and this was our first day after the holiday break. Good to have you with us here on Aqueduct Insider. It's Jason Blewitt, Andy Serling, and it's good to be back at the Big A, isn't it?
It's always nice to be back after a little break from racing. We always miss racing when it's not here, so we're glad to be back at the Big A.
Yeah, place was buzzing. Today was the calendar giveaway, quote-unquote, $3 a pop. Big crowd on hand. We had a couple stakes on the card, the Damon Runyon and the Gravesend, and we've got a lot of ground to cover, beginning with a couple of headlines tonight. Let's just dive right into the action down at Gulfstream Park. You're going to want to watch the National Racing Report for a complete recap of their Saturday stakes, but here's the stretch run of Race 4, the Sugar Swirl.
Stone-tastic, perhaps a little overbet at 1-5. Affiliate has real talent, but she's always had things go her own way when she's gotten it done and run the big races. Here, she was very unlucky. A wildly aggressive ride on the tiring 5 by Jeffrey Sanchez, and he badly cut her off in the backstretch. She checked hard. She got a good trip after that, but she could not overcome the trouble, and she's a horse Stone-tastic as good as she is. She's never been that good without the lead.
At 6 for 16 as John Velasquez picked up another Gulfstream win with Best Behavior, who's right at home at Gulfstream. She's 6 for 16 down there for Marty Wolfson, and that sort of trouble down the backside with Stone-tastic. I mean, Johnny V was like a cat on a mouse. I mean, right there to grab that first over position.
Yeah, no question. He was able to get the good trip. But Stone-tastic, a bit of a need-to-lead type, but she just couldn't outrun the horse on the outside of her. And once again, she got it tightened up on the backstretch. She almost actually had to check very severely.
Let's move on to race number 8. Big field of 2-year-olds, couple of horses we're familiar with here in the Big Apple. Run 1-2 by a long ways. Rally Cry, the 10, is able to wear down the number 2, Wheels Up Now.
Yeah, Wheels Up Now, it actually lost to a horse of Todd's that came back, I believe, to win down there. And a couple of horses, or didn't win, but a couple of horses out of that race won. A West Point horse. But Rally Cry, who disappointed a super short price, maybe as low as 1-5 or 2-5 in its debut, lost to a good-looking firster for Steve Asmussen, who was best that day, and actually a half to honor code, finished second in that race, waiting for both those horses to come back. Perhaps Asmussen goes to Fairgrounds or Oaklawn with the winner of that race. You imagine the second-place finisher, whose name's something called Morse Code, will probably be running down in Florida for Shug, but Rally Cry gets it done for owner Paul Pompa, of course, the original owner of Big Brown.
And we've got another winner for Uncle Mo, who's got about 52-year-old winners, and he may be standing for as high as 100,000 moving ahead to 2016. And speaking of 2016, we have got one heck of a freshman crop as far as American-based stallions going off the stud. None more important than Triple Crown champion American Pharaoh. And this is an achievement, first Triple Crown in 37 years, that will continue to reverberate throughout the industry, as he was recently, his win and Triple Crown sweep was named the Associated Press Sports Story of the Year.
Thank God, because after, the disappointment of not getting the biggest story from Sports Illustrated, I think I just wouldn't have been able to go on if he hadn't won that AP award. And the thing about it is, we like to see the attention paid on racing, especially in such a positive way, but I don't care who awards us anything. AP, I think American Pharaoh did it in the racetrack, and we can appreciate what he did, whether he wins awards or not.
I think you have summed it up perfectly, and let's see what John Imbrial has to say about things as we send it on up for the call. Railbirds were out in force, man. 5 days without racing at Aqueduct is tough. Place was buzzing, and we were all waiting to see who would win the 57th running of the Gravesend.
And they're off. Green Grotto goes out for the lead. At the rail, it's Jake and Elwood up to challenge. Jake and Elwood and Green Grotto right together as they race up the backstretch. They've got 2 lengths on Alex the Terror, who's on the outside of Palace. Fabulous Kid is the early trailer in 5th. Green Grotto gets clear of Jake and Elwood. It's Green Grotto in front, getting away to lead by almost 3 lengths. Jake and Elwood has drifted to the outside, leaving room down towards the rail for Alex the Terror. Palace has gone to the back of the pack along with Fabulous Kid. The quarter went in 22-2. Green Grotto has opened up here. Green Grotto has a 7-length lead at the top of the stretch. Green Grotto in front as they head for home. Alex the Terror in second, and then Jake and Elwood, Palace, and Fabulous Kid. Green Grotto in command with 1/8 of a mile to the finish. It's Green Grotto. The lead, 5 or 6 lengths. Then Alex the Terror, Palace, and Jake and Elwood. But it's Green Grotto, and he buried this field in the Gravesend. Palace did get up for second. Then Alex the Terror, Jake and Elwood, and Fabulous Kid.
Nearly $500,000 money won in the bank for 2015 with this overachieving Jersey bred who's just turned into one of the neatest horses on the circuit.
No question about it. Palace is not the horse he once was, a distant second. The co-favorite in there, Fabulous Kid, a complete no-show. But one thing about Green Grotto, he shows up and runs well every time he hits the racetrack. As you said, waiting to see who won, it took about 15 seconds before you realized this race was over.
Absolutely pulverized the field, the 57th running of the Gravesend alongside winning trader Gaston Grant, who I actually caught up after the race, and I asked him actually, was this the perfect day after Christmas present?
No, actually not, but God is good, and we've been at it for a while now, and it's finally paying off, and we have a lot of help, you know. And he's just one tough guy. I told Richie a couple weeks ago that we was going to give him a break, but he was kicking down the barn, so we had to run him. And he was just one tough guy, and he was training like monster, you know. So we decided to just give him a run, and he showed it on the track today.
What's this journey been like with him? Sort of a rags to riches, New Jersey bred, started his career in claiming races, and the sprinter that he's turned into now.
It seems like the older he gets, the better he gets, you know. And you should mention the Jersey, because they just gave him like Jersey Bred of the Year, you know. So, and he's been, hold on, I'll talk to you in a minute. He's been really improving every year. The older he gets, it seems like he's just no stopping him, you know. He's just going really great. Some of the time I figure I'll give him a little breather, but he won't take it. He's a stubborn little bastard. But we just take it one day at a time and see where we go with him. He's just, I can't say anything else, because he was running poorly at first, and all of a sudden he turned around, and you see what happened. He's just reeling off wins and placings, and he's just one consistent guy taking care of everybody in the barn, and we just love him a lot.
So there you go. Very big and jubilant winner's circle celebration. And the Railbirds, I mean, it was complete bedlam down there. We have got a large contingent, and they're part of the fabric, hardcore horse players and racing fans that are from Jamaica, and they were very proud of this horse who kind of, was waving sort of the hometown flag. It was really cool.
Well, he's a good horse to be proud of, and they talk about giving him a break. Give him a break. This horse seems to be a kind of horse that thrives on racing, and it's just amazing the kind of year he had. He was second in our Carter at a huge price. Seemed like an aberration. He's gotten better and better since that race.
Here's a good one by $1,000 stallion, and here's Zealous, and he's banked about, this win puts him at about 650 G's lifetime, and certainly has given every sort of exclamation point, or at least has made a statement. He's got every right to be the best sprinter on this circuit throughout the wintertime, right?
Absolutely. I guess it depends if Sisuto's Amigos comes back and he can still run his races. But what Green Grotto has is speed, and speed is deadly.
All right, Kendrick Carmouche seems to fit him like a glove, and we'll see what happened in the other stake. In fact, we didn't have to wait long. Race number 2, second half of the early double, was the co-featured $100,000 Damon Runyon for the New York bred 2-year-olds.
Spooked Out is out for the lead. Challenged on the inside here by Gehrig. So it's Gehrig and Spooked Out right together going into the clubhouse turn. Extinct Charm is down at the rail, racing in third. Then it's the T-Shuck and a tough-to-handle EJ's Legacy at the back in fifth. Gehrig now gets clear by a length over Spooked Out. Another length and a half to Extinct Charm in third as the field heads for the backstretch. And it's Gehrig the leader over the odds-on favorite Spooked Out. Then comes Extinct Charm in third, followed by T-Shuck in fourth, and EJ's Legacy remains at the back. The opening quarter mile, 24 seconds. Gehrig and Kendrick Carmouche on the lead here by a length. Spooked Out continues to chase in second with Extinct Charm down on the inside in third. A break of 2 to T-Shuck in fourth, and another length to EJ's Legacy. And they're all chasing Gehrig with less than a half mile to the finish. Gehrig's in front by a length. Spooked Out, Extinct Charm right together second and third. The half one in 49 and 3. EJ's Legacy up on the outside now into fourth. And T-Shuck. They move around the far turn. Gehrig continues to lead here. Gehrig by a half length. Spooked out right there on the outside in second. A length and a half to Extinct Charm, who has come off the rail and has moved to the outside. Then EJ's Legacy and T-Shuck. 3/4 in 1, 15 and 2. They're in the stretch, and Spooked Out takes the lead. Extinct Charm runs in second. T-Shuck is gaining ground down at the rail. And EJ's Legacy on the outside. 4 of them right together with a 16th out. Spooked Out. EJ's Legacy on the outside. Extinct Charm in between. T-Shuck is down at the rail. They come for the finish. Extinct Charm won it. Extinct Charm by a head. Close for second between T-Shuck and EJ's Legacy and Spooked Out.
So Aaron Greider pulls a perfect trip, basically pocket the 3-wide run, and this was a race that was just bursting apart at the seams in a crazy finish.
Yeah, and obviously, the favorite in this race, the 3-horse, is a talented horse, but he just doesn't want to go this far. And the fact that he had to sit off of Gehrig early, who packed it in before the top of the stretch, didn't help his cause either. It was a racetrack that I think was very fair, but one thing that might be true, Jason, is that down the inside was probably not the best part of the track. And T-Shuck, who is a bit of a rail runner, as you think about his last 2 races, he was really energized coming up the inside. I think going down the inside, I don't blame Dylan. It was the second race of the day. He doesn't know how the track might be playing, and he's just the kind of horse that takes you down there. That probably hurt his rally, and he might have won the race had he been outside in the clear, but he might not be that kind of runner.
Well, I think we'll get another round to find out who may prove the best of these horses, at least going long. Plenty of opportunity for 3-year-olds, statebreds included, on the inner track. In fact, just a week away from our Jerome as we speed to break with our sights set firmly on the opening leg of the Pick 6.
Now you can enjoy your favorite pro and fantasy football teams while playing the races in style as Longshots welcomes back NFL Sunday Ticket. With over 400 HD TVs, 270 individual carols, a full-service sports bar and food menu, Longshots is the place to catch all the great racing and football action. So come on out, bring your friends, bring your league to Longshots, located on the 2nd floor at Aqueduct.
It's that spontaneous cheering here at the Big A. It's what the game does to you sometimes, and hope all those people cashed. And maybe they were smart enough, smarter than you and I, to play Gary Contessa in the second race, who certainly, we got to give him some credit, did a nice job even taking a shot with Extinct Charm.
Who'd won a muddy track race and a maiden claiming race, I believe, to break his maiden. Gary's been doing very, very well lately. His horses are running extremely well.
I believe Gary has 7 Aqueduct training titles to his credit. Might be 7 on the inner track alone. This is a guy that knows his way and lay of the land around the Big A. As we get it to race 4, Gary did not have one in the 4th, but we did have a hard-hitting group of some informed, sharp 62.5 optional claimers.
And they're off. Escape to the Moon. Out for the early lead. Serban's on the outside and nonstop down at the rail. And now Sam Sparkle moves on through to take second. So it's Escape to the Moon leading the field up the backstretch. Sam Sparkle in second, nonstop at the rail in third. Serban's on the outside in fourth. And Life in Shambles next in fifth. Then Sassakaya and Newbin Ridge. Escape to the Moon has the lead after an opening quarter mile in 23 3/5 seconds. Escape to the Moon by 3/4 of a length. Sam Sparkle in second by almost 2. Nonstop runs in third. Then farther back, it's Life in Shambles, followed by Sir Bond, then Sassakaya and Newbin Ridge. They're at the top of the stretch. Escape to the Moon, holding off Sam Sparkle. It's Escape to the Moon by a little more than a length. Sam Sparkle is all out in second. Farther back, on the outside, Sassakaya is gaining some ground. Escape to the Moon still leads. Sassakaya charging up on the outside. Here's Sassakaya to win from off the pace. Escape to the Moon was second. Sam Sparkle finished third.
Tough loss here for the 6. Escape to the Moon, who continued his razor-sharp form, but it just wasn't good enough in the end to hold off the late-running Sassakaya, who really was rolling beneath John Bisono.
Yeah, no, Bisono, one of his first rides, really, since he's trying to make a name for himself here this winter, and he's got some good mounts for Rudy, I think, today and tomorrow. Actually, we'll see how well he does. He did nothing wrong with this horse, right place at the right time. The 2-horse Newbin Ridge had a little bit of trouble early in the race, and he raced right down the inside. And if you're somebody, and we haven't really paid enough attention to it, but if you're somebody who ultimately feels the rail wasn't the place to be, Newman Ridge is a horse that overachieved.
And you may have a few bet backs off this card if you do think the rail was not the place to be. And John Bisono, by the way, represented by Michael Migliori. Let's move on. We've got another race to bring you. In fact, a whole bunch. Everything else that happened on this first Saturday following the break. 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9.
In sixth. Farther back, it's Outward Bound, Wild Prado, and Chosen One Elijah. The field is in the stretch. Half up in 47 and 3. Suck it up, Buster. And my Tommy Boy, Bad to the Roan, trying to come through down towards the rail. And here's Casagato on the outside. Casagato and Bear Claws. It's Casagato with a head in front. Bear Claws in second. Casagato to win it here by a half length. Bear Claws was second. Then my Tommy Boy and Wild Prado in a photo for third. Off, then it's Sax Change, Willie's Mojo, and Cuckoo Saloon at the back of the pack. The field comes off the turn and enters the stretch. Zababa, Take a Bite. Big Band Benny down at the rail, and here's Eden Ridge coming on quickly to take over. Eden Ridge drawing away here in the stretch. Eden Ridge with a strong effort through the lane. Eden Ridge going to win by a half dozen lengths. Take a Bite was second. Willie's Mojo up for third. They're at the quarter pole now. Mascarello with a narrow lead, but here's Super Psyche, and on the extreme outside, it's Thirst for Glory, Apollo 11 down towards the rail. Tis a Chance is dropped out of it. Thirst for Glory now comes away with the lead. Super Psyche towards the inside. It's Thirst for Glory and Super Psyche. It's those two to the wire. It's Thirst for Glory to win it. Super Psyche was second. Then Mascarello and Apollo 11. And on the outside is the favorite, Son of a General. Private Tail looking for a way through. Then Branded Hand and Finding Candy. They are at the top of the stretch. And here is Son of a General to go up and take over the lead. Son of a General in front. Marriage Fever. Then comes Private Tail, and on the outside is Branded Hand. Finding Candy is next. They come down for the wire. It's Son of a General in front. Son of a General, a length and a half winner. Private Tail got second. Then it was Branded Hand and Marriage Fever. Adams Note down at the rail in fourth. Never Indicted in between horses. Then Native George. The field is in the stretch. And here's Copernicus to take the lead here. Copernicus is in front with an eighth of a mile to the finish. Daddy's Thief moves into second. Super Nicky is now back running in third. Here's Daddy's Thief to run right on by Copernicus. Daddy's Thief taking off in the stretch. Won by 2.5 lengths. Copernicus was second, and Broadway Bay came from out of it to get third. Quarter pole, 3/4 and 1:15. It's Lyrical Miracle and Prophet's Cat and CJ's Awesome on the outside. Yakov is fourth, CJ's Awesome and Prophet's Cat. Those two are right together. Lyrical Miracle is back running in third. They're moving for the 16th pole. Prophet's Cat on the inside and CJ's Awesome on the outside. Those two right down to the finish. CJ's Awesome by a head. Prophet's Cat was second, and Pancakes and Batter came on to get third.
It was close in the last, but that horse actually, CJ's Awesome, maybe not awesome, but he did grind out the win over Prophet's Cat, capping a very chalky late pick 4.
And he was also able to rate. Yeah, we had prices win galore in the first part of the card, but the favorites pretty much dominate except for Green Grabo in the last 4 races. And Linda won 2 of the 3. She had 3, and she didn't get the right one home with Palace, but she won the first and last legs.
And as we go to Cappy's second look, Linda was a big part of this late pick 4. CJ's Awesome in the nightcap, and a very shrewd move jumping back in and taking Son of a General, who she had throughout the bulk of 2015, but even had to lay this horse up for over 6 months, yet still went back in a few weeks ago to reclaim him.
An interesting race worth watching again, because all in all, maybe this horse was best, but confidently ridden by Correa Velasquez, perhaps moving a little soon, and that's why he tired a bit late. But the 3-horse Private Tail had a tough trip against it last time with a wide trip. He's a 10-pound bug rider that's just not experienced enough to be successful in the circuit, and he actually badly cut off Gabriel Saez in the backstretch, and a good job by Saez not getting put over the fence in there. He had to steady, I think Joe Imperio, the trainer, claimed foul in there, and they justifiably took down Private Tail from second, as the rider had committed a foul in there, and he's a 10-pound bug rider. We'll see how he does going forward.
And speaking of bug riders and even journeymen in this comedy, we'll look at the rider standings with the Saturday down. It is dark outside. Kendrick Carmouche walking away with a solid day, winning his second straight stakes race aboard Green Grotto. Cordelia Velasquez picked up a riding double, and a couple of Parks guys. Parks dark for the next few weeks. We had John Bisono and Joshua Navarro both winning races. And on the training front, well, Linda Rice came away with a training double. Races 6 and 8. Michael Arrow shipped in at a decent little New York bred by Cat Thief, who showed up to that strong tote support and got the job done in race number 7 as the 6-5 favorite. And with another card down, do we just have one page of claims? Was CJ's Awesome claimed out of the last? Just one page, guys? That's it. No claims out of the last. I was wrong. I thought they'd go in for CJ's Awesome. Incorrect on that front. Race 3, race 4, and a pair out of race number 6, as we have a pair of segments down on this show, and we will be right back on the other side of this break with the Sunday preview. AT Grider, little Brand Jam Silks, the blue and yellow, thumbs up. And speaking of, like Gary Contessa, a veteran sort of horseman that knows the lay of the land. I mean, Aaron had a lot of success here at the turn of the century, and I think he's riding pretty well.
No, I agree. He's an aggressive rider. We like aggressive riders. We like Aaron's style, and Aaron and Drew Malika did a lot of damage here when he first came to New York. I'm back, gosh, been that long.
Yeah, it was the late 90s. I was still in college when he was ruling the roost here out on the inner track. That was a long time ago. Let's move on. Little Eastview action here as we charge down the stretch on Insider, and we check out Absolutely and Riot Worthy, who faced each other back in late November.
We'll see how successful Absolutely is going to be stretching out. I know Riot Worthy, who finished second, same trainer, Charlie Baker, came back and got second, but he actually got a perfect trip that day in a race where the winner was much the best. I'm going to try to beat these horses in here, but Absolutely is probably one of the favorites.
What a buzz in the air the last time, and it was only a few days ago. Sing Song was running here at the Big A. We had that first ever Pick 5 carryover, and she got it done in one of the legs and was one of the bigger price winners for John Kimmel.
If Sing Song wins this race, I'll wear the dunce cap on the airplane as I fly down to Florida on Tuesday. I mean, this was a hungriest of hungry fields. I think it was helped by being loose on the front end, and I know there's no monsters on paper here, but Sing Song draws an outside post with other speed inside, and it's very hard for me to see this horse duplicating the performance.
All right, fair enough. We'll see how she does for John Kimmel. Ella Weasel and Flatware dropping out of a turf race here on this Aqueduct grass course back on November 25th.
Don't know if Ella Weasel can handle the dirt, but I haven't given up on Flatware and actually picked this horse in here. You know, I know she's run okay on the turf, but she had some trips in her dirt races. Now, her Maid of the Mist wasn't a good race, too, back. But you know what? That was a big field, a tough field. She kind of got lost in there. I'm very interested in Flatware for Mark Hennig here and think he's one of about 7 horses I picked for Mark Hennig in tomorrow's card.
Oh, so you're going to bury Mark Hennig.
Hey, I'm burying Mark.
All right.
That's what he gets for all those sunsets he shows on Twitter.
Well, you'll be down right there soaking up those Florida sunsets down at Gulfstream Park. Let's move on to race number 8, our second stakes on the program. It's the $150,000 Stallion Stakes. And Sudden Surprise, who was scratched. The connections ran spooked out in today's Damon Runyon. Should be pretty tough in this one.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I didn't love his last race, but you know what? The Figs, both Buyer and Timeform US, came back strong enough. He's the horse to beat in here. We'll see. He's a better horse going shorter, so they made the right call with him. He probably wasn't necessarily winning going long today, but spooked out lost as well. We'll see if he gets it done and sort of salvages the weekend for the connections.
Dr. Shane for Nick Essler has stepped up his game. It all began with that big upset against Champion of the Nile up at the Finger.
Yeah, and he didn't run badly. I finished second behind the favorite in his last start, and certainly he's brought that form down to New York, improved for Nick Essler. He's done a good job with him. I guess he's the logical second horse, but my man Mark Hennig has one in there as well.
Well, you got a 2-year-old by Girolamo, who, I mean, next to Uncle Mo, I think the Girolamos, that was the other main story as far as freshman stallions in the United States for 2015. Lucky Lurie, who once upon a time, it wasn't that long ago, watching this horse entering Saratoga, he looked like he could run a bit.
Yeah, now, his figures are a little bit on the light side, but keep in mind, these figures were earned 6 months ago. There's no reason as a soon-to-be 3-year-old he can't improve his figures on just natural progression 10 points from there and be very much in the thick of it. And tomorrow might be the day to cash a bet on this horse. I'm going to bet a few dollars on Lucky Lurie tomorrow.
It is nice hopping back in the time machine and even going back a few months and seeing a race maybe 2 weeks before Saratoga at Belmont Park. We were fast and firm with plenty of turf. amid nice weather, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's always nice to go back to Belmont. There's a lot of good racing to go back to as we look at some races all around. It's nice sometimes we'll do it on Talking Horses. We'll show a race from Belmont, a race from Saratoga, and sometimes we show those inter-track races when we're at Saratoga just to remind us.
That always makes me warm and fuzzy. And we always say Sundays are fun days here at the Big A. We'll break out the 10% winners bonus in NYRA.com pick threes. You can put that wager in at NYRA.com and or the mobile site. Check it out. Sign up if you haven't done so already. And as we say goodnight, we leave you with perhaps, and we continue on, of course, in our top 19 of 2015. Would you agree this year's Whitney on Saturday, August 8th, was a Whitney for the ages?
I think if it wasn't for the Triple Crown taking place this year, it would be remembered as the best race of the year, because in a lot of ways it was the most thrilling big race run in this country this year. When you consider Liam's Map, Honor Code, Tonalist in there, and the kind of finish we saw, the great performance by Liam's Map in finishing second, the great run by Honor Code showing he wasn't just a one-turn horse, and yeah, they were all eclipsed by American Pharaoh, but in performances, no race was eclipsed by the Whitney.
Oh, this was classic Shug. Oh, the Whitney was terrific. As we send it to Larry Colmus as they barrel off the far turn. We'll see you tomorrow night right here on Aqueduct Insider.
And they're coming to the top of the stretch. 3/4 in 109 and 3. They're into the stretch, and it's Liam's Map. Oh, he's got a 5-length lead coming to the 8th pole. He's run a huge race. Wicked Strong and Honor Code have a furlong to reel him in. Totalist is next. They're coming to the final 16th. Liam's Map reaching for the wire. Honor Code running out of time. Liam's Map, here comes